Pfizer says a lower dose of its COVID-19 vaccine is effective in younger children. The company plans to seek authorization from the FDA for use in kids ages 5 to 11. Studies found that age group developed just as many antibodies with just a third of the dose currently administered to teenagers and adults. CBS News correspondent Mola Lenghi reports.
I think it's just been a really wonderful privilege, really, to contribute in this way. And so,
Dr. Richard Chung is an adolescent medicine specialist at Duke Health in Durham, North Carolina. Chung's youngest son, 8-year-old Joshua, took part in Pfizer's recently completed trials for children ages 5 to 11 years old.
I think that everybody should get vaccinated so that things can return back to normal.
Pfizer announced this morning that the trials Joshua took part in showed the vaccine was safe, well tolerated, and resulted in robust neutralizing antibody responses. Those positive results mean Pfizer will now send this data to regulatory agencies around the world, including the FDA and European Medicines Agency, for approval.
If the FDA looks at this data and feels confident that it demonstrates that this vaccine is safe and effective for children 5 to 11, you could have a vaccine within a month to 6 weeks.
Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb is a member of Pfizer's board of directors.
Pfizer tested multiple doses to find the optimal dose that had the best compromise between reducing the number of vaccine-related side effects while still providing efficacy that's on par with what we saw in 16 to 25-year-olds.
The vaccine has already been approved by the FDA for use in children 12 and up. Dr. Chung's older son, Caleb, took part in those trials.
I wanted to participate in the trial in order to help motivate other kids to get the vaccine.
Pfizer's announcement comes at a pivotal time in the fight against COVID-19. The most recent American Academy of Pediatrics report showed the second highest number of childhood COVID cases for any week since the pandemic began. The spike in cases has been driven by the Delta variant, which has disproportionately affected the unvaccinated.
I'm really proud of them, seeing them kind of courageously take this step and to do so really enthusiastically has just been a remarkable experience, not just as a pediatrician, but certainly as a dad.
We should note that 8-year-old Josh was not sure whether he received the placebo shot or the real vaccine. He told us his symptoms were not severe. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, New York.
Dr. Rashmi Jain joins me now. She's a concierge pediatrician and the founder of babiesmd.com. Dr. Jain, welcome. So, of course, this is welcome news for a lot of parents, but it is company data, not FDA data. So is this what you expected? And, of course, it doesn't mean the shots are going into children's arms anytime soon. There are quite a few more hurdles to cross, correct?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Pleasure to be with you, Tanya. This is great news. So it is something that we anticipated would come at some point soon. We didn't know how soon. And absolutely, we're not at a point to put shots in the arms yet. But once Pfizer has released this information test today, the FDA can start reviewing this data and what they've put together over the last few months to hopefully come to a committee meeting maybe by the end of October so that kids can start getting vaccinations, maybe even by Halloween or the beginning of November. And I think that is just so, it's just so welcomed by so many parents out there who have started sending their children back to school. So yes, this is great news. It is awesome that they were able to see the same amount of response with only 1/3 the dose that they're giving to older people over the age of 12. So this is very good.
And of course, we've had hundreds of schools across the country close or be forced to quarantine students and staff because of outbreaks since the fall began and back to school was underway. Do you think that these outbreaks and the goal of in-person learning will be the driving force to get parents to get this population of children vaccinated?
I think so. It was a rough year last year with some kids forced to stay at home without the right resources, other children wanting to go to school but could not. So it was a long year. And I think the fact that we are able to get these vaccines into children sooner than later is going to be a driving force. Children learn better in a school environment. Children learn better when they have teachers teaching them consistently every day. Children learn better when they see their peers and are able to socialize and emotionally regulate based upon that. So there have been so many mixed messages for our families, when it comes to mask wearing, when it comes to attendance, when it comes to social distancing. So yes, I think a driving force will be one, that this is a lower dose that we're giving our children than the adults, that they've done the appropriate studies to know that there's no increase in side effects with these children compared to the local side effects that we're getting with the older people and teenagers, and that means they can go to school and be more confident as they attend public learning.
And so what more do we know about how close Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are to completing their trials in younger children? Because lest we forget, those are underway as well.
Yes, absolutely. So Moderna is a few weeks away, a few weeks behind Pfizer in a lot of their studies. And so hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get some information from Moderna. Johnson & Johnson is also doing the same, but I don't think there's a timeline out for them. And so the reality is we, at this point, as pediatricians, want to encourage vaccination, regardless of who's providing it. But I think, as we've seen in this race for the vaccine, we are just happy to get the information we get, and everybody is following suit, one after the other.
Over the weekend, Dr. Fauci said he ultimately believes the vaccines will be a 3-dose series. Ultimately, of course. From what you're reading, do you think that this is just a matter of time before the general population will be eligible for booster shots, despite the FDA's recommendations last week?
So I think the booster shot, like we've seen with all of the developments in the COVID vaccine journey, the booster shots we thought were going to be something that everybody would get in the next few weeks, authorized for everybody in the next few weeks. And what we found now is they say we don't have enough data to say that we need booster vaccinations. So yes, those groups at high risk that have been high risk during the COVID pandemic, those over the age of 65, those who are immunocompromised, those who have more risk of serious outcomes, morbidity and mortality, they're the ones who are being recommended to get a booster vaccine right now. And as we start seeing more data of how long it takes for antibody protection to wane, for how long it takes for the pandemic to kind of start dying down, we'll be able to provide more information about whether booster shots are efficacious or not. The one most important thing is that we don't want to provide boosters just for the sake of providing boosters. We want to prove as a scientific community that it is necessary, that protection needs to be boosted in order to prevent disease. If, however, the 2-dose vaccination series seems to be sufficient with the amount of COVID left in the world, maybe there won't be such a recommendation for children. But that being said, right. I think there is a very strong likelihood that we will be seeing a booster vaccine. It's just we need to see what plays out with adults before we start talking about the adolescents and the children thereafter.
Right. All right. Well,